Okay, welcome to another episode of our exploration into spreadsheets. Today we're going to use the checking account example, and we're going to find a formula for a running balance. We're going to use a sumif formula, and we're going to create a pie chart. So we're going to go over here to Sheets, and we see our example of a checking account. Okay, so our columns here. First we have the date. This is the date of each transaction. Check number, we wrote 2 checks out. Description, this is what each transaction is. Category, we'll talk about that in a second. Withdrawal, this is when we take money out. Deposit, when we put money in. And finally, this is our balance. So we want to see the balance every time a transaction happens. And when we create a formula here, we want to make sure it's a formula that can be copied down the column. So we have to keep that in mind. So each formula begins with equals, open parenthesis. We're going to look at where our balance is, which is G2. We're going to subtract the withdrawal, so that is E3. And since we want to copy this formula, we're going to also add from the empty cell, which is F3. An empty cell will not change your answer. Okay, so that is our answer. Now we're going to copy the formula. We click on the cell, lower right-hand corner, to the box, click and drag down. So now we see our balance. Here we can see the owner of the checking account spent a little too much money and will be getting fees at the end of the month from his bank because they covered the overdrafts. Now what we want to do is we want to compare our expenses. All right, let's say we want to see where most of our money is going. So we want to use these categories and see if we're spending most of our money in home or recreation, car. So we're going to use a sumif formula. Equal sumif, open parenthesis. First thing we do is we tell the computer where we're looking for something. So we're looking in D2 colon D10, comma. Then we're going to use quotes, and we're going to tell the computer to look for a certain word. In this case, it's going to be home. Okay, home, and end quotes, then a comma, and then we're going to say, look in this column for any numbers associated with the word. So that would be E2 colon E10. Close parenthesis, press return. Okay. So now to do the next two, it's the exact same formula. The only difference is the word. Okay, so I'll just talk us through. Equal sumif, open parenthesis, D2 colon D10, comma, quote, car, quote, comma, E2 colon E10, close parenthesis, press return. Equal sumif, open parenthesis, D2 colon D10, comma, quote, recreation, close quote, comma, E2 colon E10, close parenthesis. Okay, now for our pay, we have to change it a little bit because our deposits are in a different column. Technically, you could just use a sum formula, but since we're practicing, we'll still use a sumif. Equal sum if, open parenthesis, D2 colon D10, comma, quote, pay, quote, comma. Now we're going to do F2 colon F10. Close parenthesis. Press return. There's our pay. Finally, what we're going to do is we're going to create a pie chart. So we're going to select these 6 cells. Okay, we want the numbers. They're going to be the pieces of pie. And then the words are going to be the pieces of pie labels. So once we have this selected, go up to this little icon right here. It says insert chart. There's our chart. Okay. And that's that.